and gentlemen, rock and roll.
Every time a song gets released as a single, more often than not, they get a music video to accompany them.
World Party.
That's just a standard practice for the longest time. Even if music videos don't appear to be culturally relevant as they used to, they will continue to be made. It's so ubiquitous now that you would be excused for not knowing when this practice first became commonplace.
Turn it on, leave it on.
I want my MTV.
And the obvious answer would have to be around the time that MTV was first taking off as a channel.
See new video music you can't see anywhere else.
And to an extent, you'd be right. The success of the channel resulted in a lot of musicians and record labels taking music videos more seriously. The roaring success of MTV showed that when you get your music on the channel, it would more than likely result in high yields for the artists. But before the fateful day of August 1st, 1981 ever happened, we did have artists making music videos beforehand. Every single music video played before the famous first 24 hours on MTV were made before the channel's inception, obviously. Music videos were made before they were ever even called music videos. From the Beatles in the 1960s to other bands such as the Kinks or David Bowie. They made these short-form works known as professional videos. Plenty of artists had these videos under their belts, though more than often they would be the band performing. Which would be easier for the artist than have them perform the same song all the time on live television. But what exactly caused music videos to become more of a common practice? The answer to that would be from a pretty well-known music video from a pretty well-known band. Tell me, ever heard of this band called Queen? Easily one of the most recognizable bands in existence with some of the most famous songs ever created. We will rock you. I could easily name so many off the top of my head, but more than likely, so could you. Their works are so iconic that they have been analyzed and revitalized in pop culture through various reasons. But we do need to single out one of their songs today, which just so happens to be their signature song.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Bohemian Rhapsody. What can I say about this song that hasn't already been said? Well, for the sake of this video, not much. Mama! It's one of the most famous songs of all time for very good reasons. A great operatic performance unheard of in 1975, with amazing instrumentals and production as well as the always legendary vocals of one Freddie Mercury.
Nothing really matters.
It's so ingrained in music discourse and has inspired so many future musicians and works, I would say that talking about the song would be boring. It's too obvious if you ask me. I feel like I would be treading a trail that so many have traveled in doing so. But the music video, on the other hand, now its importance seems to be overshadowed these days.
Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go.
Because without this music video being made, the massive success the song received in 1975 would not have happened. I will absolutely explain all about the impact this music video had on the world of music, as well as how they created this influential piece of media, as it is once again music video time, and we are covering Bohemian Rhapsody by the one and only Queen.
Do you feel that Night at the Opera is perhaps you've reached a climax at a certain stage in your career? Because I believe it's definitely the best that you've ever done.
Thanks.
I will like to first pull quotes from the always evergreen I Want My MTV book by Rob Tenenbaum and Craig Marks. These pertain to how music videos were regarded in the 1970s. For example, from director David Mallet, music videos as a medium was not regarded at all. It was like lavatory paper. In England, they were referred to as fillers. That was an insult. Jerry Castell from Devo would say, musics were a curiosity at best. The record company thought they were stupid for using promotional money to do low-budget videos. What's that for? So in this window of time, promotional videos were being made but were rather looked down on. I would surmise as a money waster in comparison to just performing live. So it does seem like perception to these videos would change for the better once Bohemian Rhapsody made its debut. But before we get into how they made the video, we first have to ask why. Because making a promotional video wasn't really a necessity for music to become popular, but they would clearly do the job for promoting the song it was accompanying. That's a fact Queen was very much aware of, as they had 5 songs before Bohemian Rhapsody with music videos, 2 of which having 2 versions. But the main reason why they made a music video for the iconic song would be because of the BBC program Top of the Pops. Queen had been on the influential music chart show 11 times before Bohemian Rhapsody, performing their songs Seven Seas of Rye, Killer Queen, and Now I'm Here 9 different times, with 2 performances being repeated.
It's TOTP time, so let's hang on in there, baby.
The only way for your song to play on Top of the Pops was, of course, being on the UK charts. And the song did hit the charts on the first week alone, peaking at number 47. And their record label, EMI, wanted them on the show, which was a bit of a complicated situation for Queen. The thing about Top of the Pops is that you weren't actually performing your song on the show.
I'm hanging around the gardens of medicine.
Instead, you'd mime the performance while a pre-recording of your song plays. I want you to think for a second about how miming Bohemian Rhapsody would look like, because the song would be very complex to mime, especially moments like the operatic parts halfway through.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me.
And as guitarist Brian May would tell Blender in 2002, this is basically why they went the music video route. We realized we'd look odd trying to mime such a hugely complex thing on TV. It had to be presented in some other way. May would later explain that they were in the middle of their Night at the Opera tour and wouldn't be able to perform.
I have to say the main reason we made it was because we didn't want to go on Top of the Pops. Not because we didn't like the program, but because we didn't feel comfortable standing around and sort of miming in a sort of rather unfamiliar situation. We wanted to make our own vehicle. Plus, we knew we were going to be on tour, and if it was in the charts, we wouldn't be able to go in there anyway.
So this music video was an absolute necessity. The director behind Bohemian Rhapsody would be Bruce Gowers. By this time, Gowers had a couple of directing credits for TV shows such as The Frost Program, but he also directed a few music videos, the first being The Carpenters' We've Only Just Begun. He also directed Queen's performance of Keep Yourself Alive and Liar at Rainbow Theatre in London.
He didn't know it at the time, but making the Bohemian Rhapsody video would change his life forever.
The music video was shot in Elstree Studios on Shanley Road, Boreham Wood. This studio is known for having numerous movies filmed inside of it, but it was also known for having changed hands numerous times and having different owners. By this time, they were owned by EMI Films, with EMI being Queen's record label. Along with Gowers as director, Lexley Godfrey would be the video's producer, Barry Todd as the cameraman, and Jim McCutcheon as assistant director floor manager. The video was shot on November 10th, 1975. Inspiration for the music video came from the band's Queen 2 album from 1974. The photograph of the band in that recognizable diamond formation was taken by photographer Mick Rock.
He'd been inspired by a picture of the actress Marlene Dietrich, which he'd showed to Freddie.
He loved it immediately.
What makes the shoot of Bohemian Rhapsody so interesting is that not only did they shoot the video in one day, but they shot it in 4 hours. As Gowers said in I Want My MTV, we started at 7 p.m. and were in the pub before it closed at 11 p.m. The editing process took a little bit longer than the shoot, clocking in at 5 hours to fully complete, meaning that the music video was made in the span of 9 hours. Coupled with its budget being between £3,500 to £4,500, this video had a fast turnaround to get made to Top of the Pops. And as soon as the video was finished, it was immediately given to the BBC for its premiere appearance on Top of the Pops for the November 20th, 1975 episode. That's a wild thought, isn't it? In the span of 10 days, this video would be shot, edited, and shown on live television.
I remember distinctly seeing the first rough cut that Bruce brought to show us when we were on tour, sitting around this little telly watching, and we all laughed very heartily, saying, you know, it's really funny, it's really great, but it seems to bring the song to life.
But here's the thing. Queen hadn't seen the final cut of the video. They didn't know whether or not it was going to be shown on TV or if the entire thing would be canned. As Gowers said in an interview to The Mirror in 2015, we never heard a word after that. We all sat around a TV at the editing facility with our fingers crossed, wondering whether it was going to be on, and then wham! There it was. The crazy thing is, when it aired, the fans weren't the only ones seeing it for the first time. The band were too.
I've got my lollipop and you've got bad company. Good lovin' gone bad.
Now, Top of the Pops did play music videos for numerous artists before Bohemian Rhapsody ever came out. One example of this would be the Beatles. It was one way to get the song playing on the program, but if you're not miming the performance or even having a music video, there was also the dance routine based around the song. In this era, it would have been Pan's People. And I cannot see a dance routine to Bohemian Rhapsody, or at least a good one. So if there was no other alternative, then this show would have skipped the song for another chart hit. So Queen could not afford to have their song not be played. Heck, if you ask me, making a music video is basically miming your performance anyway. You just have more creative control than you do on Top of the Pops. So what is it about the music video that people love?
Is this the real life?
I think one obvious thing is that this is the music video to one of the greatest songs ever.
Mama, life it just begun.
Like, come on. It's Bohemian Rhapsody, one of the most revered songs of the 20th century.
Leave
That'll do it in my opinion. But I think that shooting a music video instead of them being on Top of the Pops gave them more freedom of how they would perform the song. You would definitely not see them open the song the same way as they did in that diamond position. Seeing the four-man band's heads together ended up becoming one of the most famous shots in music video history, even if it was based off of an album they previously made. Gowers has said that the band was part of the discussion of how the video would play out.
It was a cooperative to that extent, but there was but one leader.
But it has been said that the band improvised the entire performance. Makes sense that they did it in 4 hours and tried the best to make it to last call at the pub. But its use of special effects is a definite step up from the usual Top of the Pops performances. What's interesting about these effects is that they were done during the shooting sessions rather than the editing process. One example of this was the honeycomb effect in the video where you could see the members of Queen multiple times. That was done with a prism Gowers stuck onto the camera lens and held it with gaffer's tape. Another would be the effect of Freddie Mercury's face at this part of the video. How they did that was having the camera be pointed at a monitor, giving visual feedback. This effect would end up being very appropriate with the audio effect for that part of the song. But beyond these cool effects, the music video just has Queen perform their hit song. Nothing wrong with that, it is a very serviceable video. One that did end up being more successful than anyone could have predicted.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's one of the most superb #1s of 1975. I'll kick you. It is Queen and that fantastic number called Bohemian Rhapsody.
When Bohemian Rhapsody first appeared on Top of the Pops, it was already doing well on the charts at number 17. When the chart listings came out for November 22nd, 1975, they had risen to number 9, giving them a chance to be on Top of the Pops again. And then the week after, it would become Queen's first #1 hit. And I want to say that I am on the mindset that if Queen didn't have a music video and just performed on the show instead, I would believe it would have still been a #1 hit. Killer Queen peaked at number 2, so it was inevitable in my opinion. However, I don't believe it would have stayed on the top position for as long as it did, because every time that video played on Top of the Pops, Bohemian Rhapsody stayed at #1, and it stayed for a grand total of 9 weeks.
Look at this, especially those multi-images when the big choir was singing and all that. Nobody had ever done anything like that before. I mean, it was just brilliant.
It would end up becoming the Christmas single of 1975, and also be the first #1 hit of 1976, staying there until the week of January 31st, 1976, where the song would go down to number 3, being pushed out by ABBA's Mamma Mia and Forever and Ever by Silk. But the impact was definitely there. Top of the Pops played the video for 10 straight weeks, and they would continue to play the video for years to come, showing it during Christmas 1976, as well as it being shown in 1991, 1992, 2005. Overall, appearing on Top of the Pops 20 times in the show's existence. And this can definitely be seen as the first instance where a music video helped a song become a #1 hit. And more than likely, a lot of record labels were aware of this. And for the video's success nearly half a century later, it still maintains popularity. So much so that in July 2019, the video would hit 1 billion views on YouTube. In celebration of this milestone, they released a HD version of the music video on July 22nd, and it looks like it's going to be reaching 2 billion views much quicker because as of this video, it's already at 1.7 billion views.
Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia!
Now that's impressive. And Bruce Gowers was very much proud of the final product, though his one regret was its ending. He wanted drummer Roger Taylor, who was oiled up and shirtless, hitting the gong, be the final shot. You do see it for a brief moment at the end, but you just see it overimposed the member of Queen as they bow their heads down. He's probably right about this being the better ending. Ah well.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I would like to take the opportunity to tell you that I have a Patreon, and on there are a couple of tier lists you could subscribe to for the channel. If you like this channel and you want to contribute, head on over as every little bit helps.
Now, back to our show.
And some rock history for you. The groundbreaking video for Bohemian Rhapsody was crafted by our very own director, Bruce Gowers. Can we get a shot of Bruce in the control room?
Take 5. Pan it.
There he is. Say hi to Bruce, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Ryan and everybody.
Our conductor.
Despite the video's critical acclaim and it springboarding the career of Bruce Gowers, the director would eventually have a falling out with Queen and Freddie Mercury in 1978. As he said to the Daily Mail in 2018, "Queen wanted me, but I was already booked. I was sat at a restaurant in Covent Garden, then owned by Elton John, and Freddie stormed over. He was shouting, 'There he is, Mr. Big Time.' I told him, 'Freddie, it's not a question about whether or not I'll do it. I'm already booked to shoot a video for the Bee Gees.' But he wouldn't listen, and we had a shouting match in the middle of this restaurant where both of us swearing at each other. Freddie felt betrayed, but didn't understand that I was not under contract with them, and as a freelancer, took work where I could get it. We never spoke properly after that." Now, this is just Gowers' account, and since Mercury died in 1991, As far as I'm aware of, Freddie never talked about this, so we only have the director's side to work with. Also, while Gowers was very fond of his time making the video, to the point that his license plate is supposed to be Bohemian Rhapsody, in 2018, he would tell the Daily Mail that he was planning on suing Queen for lost royalties. As I said before, the budget for the music video was at least £3,500. It fluctuates at times, but that's our base minimum. Gowers said he was only paid £590 to direct. And when he went to see Queen in 2017, which had Adam Lambert as their singer, he realized they were still playing the music video to the audience. And he was getting nothing out of it. By the time the Daily Mail article came out, the music video was seen 650 million times on YouTube, which I assume made the band more than £590, and the director said he was never given any paperwork or contract made for his work on the video. This is all he could have made for it.
They've been using my video for 40 years and they never paid me a dime. The video didn't just sell a video. It really started, it restarted their career.
And if I was in Gowers' position, making a music video that continues to be shown 40 years later, I'd probably feel stiffed out. Now, he said this on October 29th, 2018. This was around the time the Bohemian Rhapsody biopic came out, so there was definitely some hype to be made about this. But as far as I can tell, he never followed through with his plans to sue the band. And on January 15th, 2023, Gowers would pass away at the age of 82 from an acute respiratory infection. Now, I feel like I would be neglectful if I don't mention the Wayne's World version of the video.
I think we'll go with a little Bohemian Rhapsody, gentlemen.
Good call.
In 1992, the comedy classic Wayne's World would be released to theaters. By this time, surprisingly, Bohemian Rhapsody lost popularity, even not being played on classic rock radio at the time. This would change with the help of Wayne and Garth.
Mamma mia, let me go.
So with the renewed popularity of the song, a music video was made.
Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Which was just the original music video with scenes from Wayne's World being spliced in. This decision horrified Mike Myers. He was afraid that this Frankensteining of his movie with an iconic music video would upset the band. As he put it,
"We've just whizzed on a Picasso." I asked the record company guy, I said, "Can you just explain to them that, you know, we didn't have anything, I didn't know, and if you're, I'm sorry."
The band's response?
"Thank you for using our song. Thank you for using our song."
Myers, in astonishment, replied back,
"More like, thank you for letting us even touch the hem of your garment."
And the music video did work out great at the end, as it would win Queen their only Moon Man at the 1992 Video Music Awards for Best Video from a Film.
Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World!
I would just like to say Freddie would be very pleased. He would be, I think he would be tickled by the irony that the only thing that would resurrect us is a wonderful comedy film, but I think he would have a good laugh.
And Myers getting the song pop again is basically the reason why he got a role in the 2018 Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
And what on earth is it about, anyway? Scaramouche, Galileo, and all that Ismila business?
Even referencing the famous scene from the movie.
Well, that's the kind of song teenagers can crank up the volume in their car and bang their heads to.
This movie sucks, by the way, so let's just get to the end of this. Bohemian Rhapsody is an absolute masterclass in how to make rock music. It's as brilliant as it is overplayed. But in regards to its position in music video history, it's there, but I feel like it does not get talked about enough anymore. To know that it appears to be the first instance where a music video helped a song become #1 on the charts really helped show people in the music video industry that music videos weren't filler. The inception of MTV would solidify this fact, and even now this practice continues on. Whether or not it's still effective, that's a discussion for another time. For now, I want to end this video with a quote by rock radio DJ Tommy Vance on his thoughts on Bohemian Rhapsody. "It became the first record to be pushed into the forefront by virtue of a video. Queen were certainly the first band to create a concept video. The video captured the magical imagery perfectly. You cannot hear that song without seeing the visuals in your mind's eye."
Nothing really matters.
And nearly 50 years later, the video still captures the eyes of many, as Bohemian Rhapsody is still a crown jewel for Queen. Thanks for your time.